So tell us about the show.
10 Things You Don't Know About
Yes, 10 things you don't know about.
on H2. It is a show that focuses on a topic like prohibition or the founding fathers, presidential assassinations. And we find hopefully 10 bits of historical minutia that you might not have known about, and we turn you onto it. And maybe you knew one of them, but you never got the backstory behind the one thing that you did know. And so for us, we get to burrow in, we get tremendous access to real documents, real locations, and we're just trying to make a TV show where people become interested in history and want to know more.
So what's the strangest thing you've found out for yourself so far?
The strangest thing I found out, I think I'm so surprised I didn't know because as an American I should have known, was that John Wilkes Booth went to the hotel where the vice president was living at the time and wrote him a note like, hey, I guess I missed you, I'll find you later, and left it in his mailbox so people would think there was collusion between the vice president and John Wilkes Booth. Of course, no one believed it. But I never knew that until a guy at the National Archives said, have you ever seen this? And he has in a plastic envelope the little card and signed, John Booth. And we're all sitting there like, wow. And there's moments like that where, this is my desire for this show, is to make history come alive. And so to do that, we get to the genuine article as much as we can. So you can not exactly hold it in your hand, but, the plans for the White House, here are the plans for the White House rolled out on a table at the Library of Congress. And so I get my mind, blown by this show left and right, and I'm on it, but I'm learning as we go. But that was probably the strangest thing from last season. This season, I'm not going to give away any secrets.
What has there been anything that you just did not believe, just absolutely did not believe until you saw the proof?
Yeah, I did not believe that our government during Prohibition was putting ingredients into alcohol that was being bought illegally that was toxic enough to kill you, and that our government actually killed Americans trying to get them to stop drinking alcohol. And this happened, and it wasn't like a few people, it was a lot of people. And I'm not one of those who has contempt for our government. I'm not that kind of person. But when you see that, it's very hurtful to think that people that our ancestors elected in good faith thought to do that, and they might not have understood maybe that it was going to be that intense. But that happened, and that was really disheartening.
Why? How'd you come to be on the show? What was the process? Was it something that you pitched, or was it something you were brought onto later?
I was out in L.A., where I live, going to different production companies saying, like, put me in, coach, I want to play. And they were all interested in me, and so I was lucky. I had a choice of quite a few production companies. I met the guys at Asylum, and I liked them, they liked me, we clicked. I said, I'm going to sign with you guys a 6-month production deal to get Henry some work. And they said, we do a show for H2 called 10 Things You Don't Know About, and we're going into season 2. They want to have a different host, just a different thing. Do you like history? I said, well, I'm no expert, but I'm quite the fan. And they said, would you like to be on this show? I said, yeah. They said, okay, well, we're going to audition you. I said, what's that entail? We're going to come to your house, stick a camera on you, and you're going to go down the barrel of the camera and talk about how much you love history. I went, oh, okay. And they did. And they go, you like history, go. I said, well, here's why it's important, here's why I like it. And the people at H2/A&E History Channel saw it. And they were, he's our guy. And so about a year ago, I met Stu, our great producer, and we got together and started cooking on the ideas. Like, Stu's in charge of everything, he's quite brilliant. And we shot primarily in California and Washington, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia for several weeks last year. This show's very difficult to do. And this show did really well. People like it. H2 likes me and it. And they like Stu, the producer. And they came to us late last year, early this year, 2014, and said, how about another season and 10 episodes? And we're like, well, yeah. And we're so happy to be able to do it again. And so we are at the beginning of, we're in late-ish April now. We'll be going at this thing full on until at least mid-August, and then with all the voiceovers and everything, at least until school starts.
Does anybody that you meet ever think, do they ever have that look on their face like, wait a minute, what does Henry Rollins care about history?
Yeah, sure. There's a lot of people who think because I have tattoos that I probably can't even finish a sentence. Do you read? I try. So yeah, I saw. I heard you have a history show, but at this point, I've done so much TV, National Geographic, Independent Film Channel, and all kinds of voiceovers for everything from Batman Beyond to the voice of Infinity Carr, which I am now. I think a lot of people who kind of sort of know me know that I turn up in places where they might not think I'd be turning up, which is fun for me to be that, like, really? Yes. And I just sign up for work and see what happens. And I just follow my interests. If I can be interested in something, I'll turn up at any hour on whatever lack of sleep and be happy. Like this show, I'm so happy to be involved. I'm very proud of what we're doing. And so I'm 53. And at this point, I think people kind of expect me to turn up in unexpected places.